What do you hear? Good call for it. Tua Tagovailoa here with us now.
And we got an Alabama fan here just to see you.
Tua, we've had a bevy of guests this morning. Nobody has cheered names until you walked onto this set. I kid you not. All right, let's start first by asking you, you are here on behalf of Auto Trader and Kelley Blue Book, helping make the car buying process a little bit easier. Tell us a little bit about your partnership with them.
Yeah, well, I thought it was a no-brainer, to be here on behalf of Auto Trader and Kelley Blue Book, only because moving from Hawaii to Alabama, the first thing you think of is transportation. How am I going to get from point A to point B? We looked online, with Auto Trader. We used Auto Trader. It saved us a lot of time looking. It eliminates everything, from the car that I want. And then you look at the price ranging as well. It was easy. All we had to do was call up the dealership, ask if we could take a look at the car. We went down there, and with the help of my grandparents as well, we got the car that I wanted, which was a Jeep. So
nice.
That was my college car.
Very good.
All right, Tua, let's talk about your college career for a moment. Hey, there's never been one quite like it. You burst onto the scene at halftime of a championship game and lead one of the best second-half comebacks we'll ever see. And unfortunately, as quickly and as brightly as it started, it ended. And in that moment, I think all sports fans, much less Alabama fans, are in shock. I'm curious for you, in the moment, what is going through your mind? And maybe more importantly, how are you doing as we sit here today?
Yeah. I'm doing good. I'm fine. Up to this point, I think rehab has been doing really great. We're on pace for a full recovery. But I think in life, I'm grateful that I got to experience, both sides of the spectrum. I got to experience being at the top of the mountain, where I felt like, everything was just there for me. And then, also being in the peak of the valley, or, just being low, I just think it's good in a sense, because that's just how life is. You learn, when you're successful, and then you can also learn I think you learn more when you're not as successful. You don't take things for granted as much. You understand maturity, that, I don't know, it comes with not winning, it comes with losing. So it's just life, You win, you lose, you got to move on. You got to cope with it.
It really is amazing, though, that you their teams think that, even right here in Miami, that everybody thought dumping games to get you, and now the question is, what is, by Kelley Blue Book, what is kind of your value? Give me your sense of, because I heard your press conference when you announced that you were going pro, and everybody thinks you're on the path to a full recovery. When will you know? When will you know that it's going to be back to the Tua we saw when you were healthy?
That's a good question. I think up to this point, what I'm most worried about is getting the CT scan done with our MRIs, after the 3-month mark. So it wouldn't be this upcoming Monday, but the following week. And so once we kind of get a gauge on the healing process from there, then I think that's when the doctors would be able to communicate with me and my family, and tell us we're going to be good, or, here's things we need to be cautious about still.
Did you really consider going back? Because there was that time span there where there was a lot of talk, hey, he might think about coming back to Alabama, and so many people were saying, you got to go, you got to go, you got to go. Take us through what you were actually thinking at the time.
Yeah, I definitely was thinking of coming back. It wasn't just, me just trying to elongate, the process to keep everyone out there, guessing. It was really hard with my parents, on making the decision. We had to, we sat down and talked to Coach Saban. We sat down and talked to, people on the phone, NFL GMs, owners. And then the other thing, too, is we had a lot to pray about, so it wasn't an easy process.
Tua, there's a certain peace that comes with the knowledge once you've settled into the fact that everything happens for a reason. And whatever's going to happen is going to happen. whether or not your placement in the draft is adjusted one way or another because of your injury and now recovering from it, do you have an idea of what you want to see happen? Can you anticipate what you think is going to happen? I'm sure a lot of people are talking to you.
Yeah. You know, I think in this kind of process, it's hard. It's just hard, especially with the injury. I mean, no one can really tell, you know, if it's going to heal correctly, if it isn't. You know, and that's why I think at the Combine, it's going to be really good. You know, go over there, and my main focus, you know, is to win my medical. That's pretty much it. You know, everyone else is going to be there to win the 40, win the bench press. You know, my main concern is to go over there, you know, and win my MRI, win my CT scan there. You know, and I mean.
And if and when that happens, and let's say when instead of if, your tape will speak for itself, and more people will start coming to my side of the table, which is you're the best player in the draft. You were, I mean, look at the numbers. I mean, you did it, so you don't even have to look. But you had 35 touchdowns and 3 picks. You were damn near as good the year before. The year before that, you came into the national championship game and you won the title in your first big spot as a player. Let's just speak into existence the health. A healthy Tua Tagovailoa is what type of quarterback in the NFL?
That's a good question. You know, for me, it's hard for me to speak about myself. So, I mean, all I can say is, you know, whatever team decides to pick me, you know, they're going to get someone who's going to work hard, who's going to be a leader for the team, and who's going to hopefully put the team in the best, you know, situation to become successful.
Listen, you should be the #1 player in the draft. I'm saying that you don't have to. Teams will regret it. I want to see. I understand the humility. I feel like it comes from your family. Your dad's here.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned off the air, he's the one who turned you into a lefty. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit, maybe you're a little more comfortable talking about your family, that tight unit, and how they helped turn you into the very impressive young man that you are?
Yeah. You know, my parents, instead of, I guess, teaching us growing up and talking to us about how important, you know, they are to us, you know, I got to see it firsthand, you know, how they were with their parents. You know, no matter how old they got, no matter how old they are, you know, within their life, whether they're teenagers or, you know, they're married, you know, every little decision that they've ever made, they went to their parents for you know, guidance, for counsel. And for me, it was something that I got to see firsthand and really witness and realize. And, you know, for me, I see that their parents, you know, was their heart. And so for me, growing up, it was just an easy transition for me to look at my parents the way they looked at their parents and honor and respect my parents as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's watched Lilo and Stitch, Ohana means family, right? We learned about Ohana, and knowing how important Hawaii is to you, right? And okay, so there's a couple of teams that could want your services. One, the weather is similar to Hawaii, like Miami, and one is closer in proximity, like the Chargers. Yeah. Proximity or feel and weather, which, if you had a choice, would you prefer? You thought this was going to be fluff, didn't you? Right?
Yeah.
I was only going to ask you who's going to win the Super Bowl, but his question is a lot harder.
Whatever team decides to pick me, that's the team I'm going to go with. That's the right
answer. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.